and do inflict harm on others. But war, oppression, and large-scale conflict are the result of something else, are merely symptoms of one underlying disease, not greed, not hatred, and not simply the nature of man. If we examine large-scale oppression and violent conflict and see who is actually inflicting injustice on others and why, one common denominator shows up over and over again. The soldier does not, acting on his own and based on his own moral judgment, decide to go to foreign countries and inflict violence on strangers. The soldier fights and kills because he is told to, and because he does as he is told. The government enforcer who imposes the will of the ruling class upon the people does not do so because he personally decided, based on his own conscience, that such actions would be wise or moral. The police officer does what he does because he is told to, and because he does as he is told. All the tax collectors and other government busybodies who interfere in people's lives, hinder production and trade, and steal value from the people who create it, would never do such things on their own. They do what they do because they were told to, and because they do as they are told. Throughout history, the vast majority of those who have inflicted injustice and oppression on society were not acting out of personal malice or hatred. They were merely following orders. But if you told someone to rob or assault your neighbor, no one would listen to you. So how does a situation develop in which so many otherwise decent people will do the bidding of a handful of tyrants? So how do you think the famous tyrants in history managed to get millions of people to follow them? How do you think that happens? One person, millions of people doing whatever they say. Probably, money and charisma. That's probably what I would say. Yeah. Cult of personality. They use their power to oppress people to make them feel like they didn't have any power, and that way they felt like they needed the king to survive. By being cruel, by killing, by using that fear. People are fear. As an example is fear. Having an army or something, yeah. Okay. I'm not sure, actually. Probably for fear. Okay. Maybe. Power. Money. Power. They had power over the people by their little minions, which enforced the power. Once he achieves power, yes, a tyrant can rule by fear. Having his minions wake up America.
It's all about genetics to these people. They're like horse breeders. Diana basically called herself Winston Bennett. She was brought into the West merely to be the vehicle to give birth to William. You look at Bushes, people like that, they look like you and me. The key element is what happens beyond the realm that we can see.
Still not hearing it.
This is what the Illuminati bloodlines really are. They are vehicles for other dimensional entities to manipulate this reality.
Through this series, we have uncovered who these external...
To understand it, you have to research so many different subjects.
Extraterrestrial.
So when you look at the story of Diana, it's not just about what's happening what happened in 97. It's also what happened against Babylon, places like that. The goddess Diana was an ancient goddess, which was another name for the Babylonian goddess Queen Semiramis, the goddess of the Illuminati. And one of the groups of people that worshipped Diana, the goddess, and did their ritual.
The Merovingians. Merovingian bloodline is one of the main elite ruling bloodlines. The Merovingians dynasty, along with the Sumerians order. The high-level intellect and the leaders follow strict rituals making possible. A previously explained, the Illuminati based across. Lucifer's Illuminati ones have planned for a long, hard, successful life. The rabbit hole. I talk about the rabbit hole all the time. The Matrix. Bloodline Rabbit Hole. One family, one bloodline rules. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction.
Away from the presidency is actually a blood relation. He's President Bush's ninth cousin once removed. Cheney's cousin Barack Obama is also Bush's 11th cousin, and Lincoln was President Bush's 7th cousin 5 times removed. And Bush shared more than just a ballet with John Kerry. That's right, they're ninth cousins twice removed. Trace the family tree far enough, and you get Madonna, Celine Dion, and Tom Hanks. Politics makes strange bedfellows. Apparently, politics also makes for strange relations. Thanks to the New England Historic Genealogical Society, we now know the presidential candidates are related to a host of famous and historic figures competed in this primary campaign. I knows the story 2002. Do you know relatives? Obama is distantly related to 6 presidents: George W. and George H.W. Bush, Gerald Ford, Lyndon Johnson, Harry S. Truman, and James Madison. Obama's family tree also includes Sir Winston Churchill and Civil War General Robert E. Lee. She's also related to beatnik author Jack Kerouac and the wife of Prince Charles of England. John McCain's ancestry was more difficult to trace, but it's known he's the 6th cousin of First Lady Laura Bush.
My friends, these bloodlines are unique, and they are taking genetics very seriously. This is the satanic phenomenon, bloodlines. You call them the elite. A mastering to control all others. His will to dominate all life. One bloodline to rule them all. One bloodline. I am dictated by the ministry to send you the following circular letter. It is often the duty of a good citizen and the pressed Christian to turn a blind eye on the peculiarities of those associated with us. But the time has come when such peculiarities, while still denied in the public, must be taken into account when the action by us is called for. We know the methods employed by Bolkowski, dictator in Russia itself. For example, from the writing and the speeches of the Prime Minister during the last 20 years. We know how the Red Army behaved in Poland in 1920, in Finland, Estonia and Leviathan, Galicia and Bulgaria, only recently. We must therefore take into account how the Red Army will certainly behave when it overruns general Europe unless precautions are taken, obviously to inventable horrors which will will throw an undue strain on the public opinion in the country. We cannot reform Bolkowski, but we can do our best to save them and ourselves from the consequences of their acts. The disclosure of the past quarter of the century will render war denials unconvincing. The only alternative to denial is to distract the public's attention from the whole subject. The experience has shown that the best distraction is artistic propaganda directed toward the enemy. Unfortunately, the public is no longer susceptible as in these days of the corpse factory and the multitude Belgian babies and the crucified Canadians. The corporation is therefore earnestly sought to distract the public attention away from doing the Red Army by the wholehearted support of various charges against Germans and Japanese, which will be put into circulation by the ministry. Your expression on the belief in such may conceive others. I am, sir, your obedient servant, signed H. Hewitt, Assistant Secretary. The ministry can enter into no correspondence of any kind with regards to the communication, which should be only disclosed to responsible persons. Wow. Goddess Radio, saying what you think, but too free to say. Grow a heart. Stand up for what you believe. Know what you know. They've become men and women of faith.
Soap out of them. I know that.
They made soap out of the Jewish.
I know that directly from first hand. You can be sure it is that way.
Made soap out of human flesh.
Puppet. Human fat wasn't used by Nazis. Israel Holocaust Museum says.
Futile attempts, which they knew by any logic that they can't succeed, to jump out from
Alright, Goddess Radio. As I'm recording live. Wake up, America. Goddess Radio, saying what you think, but are too afraid to say. Grow a heart. Meow. There he goes.